Hi everyone, and welcome to what I am calling a build tour. This is where I'm going to show you around some builds that I made quite some time ago before I had this channel that I couldn't possibly have a speed build for. In this instance, as you can see, this is the house from the movie Beetlejuice. I used a lot of stuff from the gallery and a lot of very helpful images that I found online. Oh look, you can see something peeping through the window just there. So I'm just trying to get the build to work and go inside because this being 4 stories, the tab camera works a little bit iffily. So as we go into the building, you can first see this entrance space that I made, and this is the space that you see at the end of the movie when Lydia comes home with her maths test and gets to dance, which is one of my favorite scenes. I mean, I love this movie in general, so I spent a lot of time rewatching it to make this build. So you just got a little kitchen back here. It's kind of all old-fashioned. We've got like a little back entryway with just some clothes and coats on hooks. Now we're going to go back out into the main entryway and follow a hallway through to the main living room, and this is the place where they realise that they're dead. You can see the little horse sculpture that I stuck there on the fireplace and one of the books from Realm of Magic. I also put a really nice bar in here. We then move into the dining room where the famous Deo Banana Boat song scene happens, which is just so iconic. If I just want to smile, I'll go back and watch that scene over and over again. Now, as we move upstairs, if I can get the camera to work, yep, there we go, onto the landing, we're going to move into the bedrooms. The first bedroom that we're going to go into is right here on the landing, and this is Lydia's room. So there's lots of purple in this room, lots of stuff from Realm of Magic, paranormal stuff, and werewolves. I just felt like this fit the vibe of her character. This is the space that she will want to live in as built in The Sims. And now we're moving on to the parents' bedroom next. And now this one is really influenced particularly by the Decor to the Max kit and Get Famous. And this art space was just so much fun to make, just going into debug, finding all these little sculptures and things. That clay one with the sticks really felt like one of Delia's sculptures, so obviously I had to include that, and all of the tiger colours. We're now moving into the study that Mr. Dietz uses, and this was nice just to have this really calm space after the really, really bright bedroom. And now the final bedroom that we have here is Otho's space. So again, I used an awful lot of the paranormal stuff here because I felt like he's the one who gets really into that stuff and learning about the occult and would want to do seances, but it's also quite glamorous, which I felt like really fit his character. And as you can see me with the camera trying to not just shoot through walls while I'm filming this. We're going to be going up now to the attic space, which is a really key space in the films. There are some really cool spaces that I've built here, and I'm just going to save those for last, the ones that are very specific to the more fantastical parts of the film. So now as we go into the attic, you'll see that there's lots of old furniture, lots of tools, lots of the things that the Dietzes may have just thrown up here when they moved in. So it's all kind of old-fashioned, but it's also got all the tools and things that Adam would use when he was building his miniature village. And here is the miniature version of the town that I built. This is built with a lot of the wall decor chopping boards, as well as miniature versions of dolls' houses and some other decor pieces that I felt really brought together the miniature village. I also have a lot of pieces from the Basement Treasures kit and also some really cool art that I found on the gallery. I wanted this space to feel kind of spooky but also quite realistic before we go through this door on our left into the very much the first fantasy space that I created. So here we are through the door in the attic. We find ourselves in the waiting room. I was really pleased with how this came out with the kind of the couches and the green light and this piece from the Decor to the Max kit. You'll see me now go out of tab mode because using tab mode on a 4th story, it just goes so fast. So this is like the office that's in there, you've got the waiting room and you've got the reception desk. So that fits all of those moments from the films. You can also see that on the floor below there are some bathrooms, but I just didn't tour those because they're very much the same. There's nothing particularly interesting about bathrooms. Now back down to this floor, we're going to look at our second space that I created that's very much just stylistic for this movie. As you can see, the black and white wallpaper, the black and white flooring, and the black and white ceiling with the bright green lights. This is kind of Beetlejuice's domain. And you can see again the art from the gallery really helping me out here. I also chose some of the little My Sims trophies and the little creepy hand. It was kind of like the Beetlejuice altar, so to speak. Now as we go back downstairs through the kitchen, there's this little corridor space that was kind of connecting the kitchen to the dining room, and when we come through here you find another door, and through that you'll find yet another door, and this takes us down into what is functionally the basement but technically the ground floor or first floor. And here we are entering the realm of the sandworms. I decided when I was looking at this that the cow plant was essentially the Sims 4 version of a sandworm, and that, along with this gorgeous piece that I found on the gallery and these debug space pieces and all the little sculptures and pieces from particularly from Get to Work, so all the alien stuff and the crystals, it just felt like it gave that room. Then we move into our final room, which represents the final scenes of the film where Beetlejuice tries to marry Lydia. You've got the Beetlejuice art on the walls, you've got the tiny car, you've got our grim gnome friend who's going to be officiating the wedding, and some little skeletons there just to act as witnesses. And you can access that room via this secret door in the kitchen. And what was worth noting back at the sandworms room is that yes, it's connected to the final room, but it's on a platform, so you couldn't actually move between one space and the other because you couldn't escape that room. And as we come outside, we've now reached the end of our tour. You can find this build on the gallery. I'm Dynamic Tortoise, and this is the Beetlejuice house.